It goes without saying, in our current day and age, anime is a growing form of media that's being consumed by thousands, and it has us crackhead weebs, us dedicated fans purchasing a widespread of products ranging from questionable figures, questionable posters, questionable pillowcases, questionable Japanese branded comic books you have to read right to left, and of course, Jump Force. Many could say within the anime gaming community that after the release of Dragon Ball FighterZ, anime games have been on a pretty stale and lackluster streak, because following FighterZ, we had the release of 7 Deadly Sins Knights of Britannia, which was who's this again? And following that 7 Deadly Sins game, we then got ourselves Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet, which, it was alright. Would have been better if it stayed true to the anime and, I don't know, was an MMO, but nah. We stay lonely out here. So following Sword Art Offline, we then got ourselves Attack on Titan 2, which was meh. My Heroes 1's Justice, which was meh. Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker, which was meh. Black Clover Quartet Knights, which was forgotten. And then finally, the messiah that ends this whole streak of piss poor anime games. Jump Force. I know a lot may be shocked to hear that, and may have even suffered an aneurysm reading the title of this video. And to be completely honest, I used to feel the same way. You may recall me bashing this game in the past, calling it doo-doo, boo-boo, poo-poo, but after deeply reconsidering things, I discovered the truth, which was, I was entirely wrong. After taking the time to analyze Jump Force down to every individual pixel, I managed to awaken my third eye in the process, and came to the grand realization that this game is nothing less than a masterpiece. Of course, to the general eye, what I had to say right there may have been seen as absolute blasphemy, for this game is generally viewed as trash to the masses. But don't fret, I shall lead you through this road of enlightenment, and we'll take a moment to dissect and assess each individual portion of the game, exposing its true colors, aka revealing that it's one of the most well-constructed, well-formulated fighters in our modern day. So starting with one of the most important things, one of the most essential things when it comes to a fighter, it's not the combat mechanics, but the hub world. The first thing you are greeted with when starting up Jump Force is this glorious and blissful area right here. Unlike other hub worlds from any other anime fighter, this one right here has the hot and spicy rides that you're given the ability to travel on to get from point A to point B in style. Star 4, where's your vehicles at? Oh, that's right, you got no hub world. Fighters, where's your vehicles at? Yeah, that's what I thought. Shinobi Striker? It sucks to suck. Xenoverse well, we got a bike that goes at a whopping speed of 4 miles per hour, a boat with enough legroom for a toddler, and a frog. That's right, a frog that somehow got paralyzed from the neck down and obtained some sort of sorcery that allows him to gravity. What more do you want from a hub world, man? Best part is about these vehicles is that even the camera cannot keep up with the raw horsepower. And something I really do appreciate about this game is how they did a very tactical job camouflaging and hiding the fast travel feature, and doesn't give any of the players a heads up that it's available, which is entirely understandable, because if they happen to tell you and like snitch that they have a feature that allows you to teleport from point A to point B, wouldn't that defeat the purpose of these gorgeous and well-designed vehicles that I'm sure the devs took a lot of time to just put together, paying attention to every given detail on the ride. Another mechanism that's quite great and enhances the hub world experience are these sick emotes. Oh, yo, woo! I really love the enthusiasm these CACs show when clapping, dancing after taking 87 shots of vodka, and just overall showing joy. Look at my CAC's face. Joy. Aside from all these very extravagant features that make the hub world just the greatest experience of all time, doesn't this music just make you want to get up and start dancing? Guys, come on, it's a banger. Now, a lot of complaints are aimed towards this game's roster for lacking characters such as Gintoki, Hiei, Kura-sensei, Light Yagami, Suna, and quite honestly, I really don't see why everyone is complaining when we have Burrito in this game. Burrito is a god tier character with a god tier design and a god tier anime, and we still got people in the corner going all like, bro, I wish Suna was in this game. Ungrateful fuck. Light Yagami was another character people were hyped for upon the release of Jump Force's reveal trailer. And to be straightforward with you, I think Jump Force assessed this situation flawlessly and made the most logical decision and made him unplayable and just a character model within the story. I believe that was only right because I'm 110% certain that absolutely no one wanted him as a playable character, no one wanted to play him, so very wise move on the developer side. Another excellent move that Jump Force has pulled is to have Madara in this game. as DLC, and have Kaguya take his place on the base roster. According to very precise and very accurate analytics, many people favor Kaguya over Madara, so it would only make sense why they did this. So we're able to play as our most favorite Naruto villain in the series from the start, without having to wait months just for her to get released as DLC. Cause it would really suck if we had Madara on the base roster, honestly, and then having to wait months just to play as Kaguya. Thanks Jump Force for looking out. Also, regarding DLC, I'm sure many of us can agree that the selection for most of these characters, if not all of these characters, were really well thought out and diligent decisions. Majin Buu is objectively one of the greatest Dragon Ball villains of all time, and is one of the most highly praised and fan-favored Dragon Ball characters in the series. So to put him in Jump Force like that, my mind's blown. And it goes without saying, absolutely no one could take his place, cause he shits on everyone. Characters including Hit, Beerus, Gohan, no one likes those characters, so the only logical decision would be Majin Buu. Another excellent character that made the cut is Biscuit. Phantom Troop who? Cause here's the only character that actually matters. Oh yeah, you cannot forget about the story characters as well, that were recently added in the game via free updates. It only took a few months after release, but they finally got it. Moving past the overall character roster, another aspect of Jump Force yet to be explored is its story, which was handled in a particular way many tend to misinterpret due to its very unique and abstract nature. Across a multitude of video games, voice acting plays a huge role within stories, as it helps convey certain emotions and feelings. However, for the most part, many Jump Force cutscenes don't have voices, and instead will have you be pressing A or X just like Pokemon all over again to get through that dialogue. And who doesn't like Pokemon? So by doing cutscenes in this fashion, it gives each cutscene a fresh and unique aesthetic that separates this game from many others. And they really do a fantastic job expressing emotions in some of these. Who needs voices when you have flawless execution and facial expressions? Of course, if you're not a fan of the visual novel style cutscenes, then there are animated cutscenes for you to enjoy with voice acting in them. So it's truly the best of both worlds. And the sheer amount of effort they put into some of these cutscenes is phenomenal. They got astonishing cinematics down, CAC's neck game down, Frieza's hover game down, and of course, Sanji's hustle game down. But above all else, like non-voiced cutscenes, they really did an absolutely clean job with nailing the facial expressions for each and every one of these animated cutscenes, really showing the raw emotion and meaning to everything these characters have to say. It almost makes me want to smile like this from how well they are done. But enough of that, let's get into the meat and potatoes of what truly makes Jump Force a top tier anime fighter, which is its godly combat mechanics. A lot of fighters that are around nowadays lack the concept of super armor, and for those who are unaware, what that is a protective mechanism that allows you to freely attack your opponent as well as defend yourself from the horrors of stagger at the same time. It's a very strategic and tactical weapon which I believe should be applied to all fighters. By simply throwing out any skill or charged attack, you will be rewarded with what we call super armor, and the level of skill it requires to utilize such a feature is astronomical, and I believe only the best of players have the ability to master it and juice out its effectiveness. Another incredible component included in Jump Force's combat mechanics is its attack tracking. Whether it's a combo, grab, skill, or ultimate, it will always, no matter what, find its way to your opponent. Because an issue a lot of arena fighters face that can get quite annoying is how your attacks just misses. Like who wants that? So it's a good thing Jump Force patched that, and any issue regarding that matter is resolved by implementing a 360 tracking system. So if your opponent tries to sidestep any of your attacks, no fear, GPS tracking will be on your side. Even if your opponent attempts to switch over to his other character as a method to bypass the tracking, don't fear, GPS tracking got your back as well. And what I really do appreciate about all of this is how the developers went the extra mile to foolproof the attack tracking, so that way if your opponent tries to jump over any of your attacks, your attack such as your ultimate has the ability to increase gravity and bring that ass back to the ground. So aside from the wonderful tracking, the depth to this game's combat mechanics gets much deeper with its combos. Requiring high quantities of precise timing, support characters enable you to extend combos to maximize damage output. And what truly makes the combos so great in Jump Force is that you could simply go into your awakening, pretty much nullifying the effects of damage scaling. So you are now given the ability to penetrate your opponent to your heart's content, with no worry of your damage dropping per hit due to the luxury of the awakening. Heavy levels of skill is required to pull off such combos, and I believe that it's entirely fair and logical that the punished victim loses the majority, if not all, of their health bar from one combo. A combo system like this only creates a skill gap, and by doing so creates a very competitive environment where whoever is the most knowledgeable about the tech and has the wits to utilize it will dominate and remain at the top. Besides negating damage scaling, awakenings also serve another purpose, which is absolutely brilliant: it gives you brief invulnerability. I personally need to shake the hands of whoever thought of this idea to implement such a feature with such power so I can avoid getting hit by ultimates, and in the process of doing so, take that W. It's probably one of the greater aspects about Jump Force, and I'm sure the majority of us can agree on that. Like, who would be dumb enough to not want brief invincibility in a fighter? Following the defense mechanism of the Awakening, something I would like to go over is the flawless escape mechanic, which allows you to, get this, escape combos. It comes in mad clutch when you're getting your buns beat and your asshole turned inside out, and honestly, it goes without saying, it's far superior than the substitution mechanism in Storm and the Z-Vanish in Xenoverse, because we all know by now, Storm and Xenoverse's combo escape mechanism is generally unbalanced and idiotic. In Storm, you have 4 chances to escape a combo, and Xenoverse, don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. You really have the ability to keep vanishing until your juice runs out. However, in Jump Force, they got everything straight. It's one and done. You only have one escape, so this pushes you to use your brain. And it's much more strategic than dirty old Xenoverse and Storm games. What I personally love about the escape mechanism in Jump Force is how even with a pixel of mobility gauge that's clearly not even visible to the human eye whatsoever, that's still a sufficient amount to escape combos. Now that's what you call clutch. Another means of escaping combos is simply calling in your support. In a lot of arena fighters, this method may not work due to the fact that your support typically gets hit before even given a chance to release their attack. However, with Jump Force being quite superior in the balance department, supports take priority and will break you out of your opponent's combos, which is an excellent alternative if you have no mobility gauge remaining, because you don't deserve to get punished. Another great aspect to the support system that I absolutely adore is how you're able to deal damage to your opponent by simply hitting their support. And this isn't limited to combos or skills, but you can actually throw out an ultimate attack and it will connect and do full damage to your opponent, as well as forcefully switching them to their support character in the process. Imagine being Storm, where if you hit your opponent's support with your ultimate attack, it doesn't do shit. Lame. Now, of course, as you guys are well aware, Dragon Ball is in this game. And with that said, what better way to represent it than to have a whole feature that correlates with the series, which is the implementation of the high-speed counters and dodges that really test you and your opponent's ability on who can mash the hardest to avoid one another's combos. And these high-speed battles can really go on for hours and even up to space if both players are very skillful and confident in their mashing abilities. Yet another exceptionally exquisite feature that enhances the PvP combat experience. And speaking of exceptionally exquisite features, did you guys know Jump Force has a rematch button now? This right here proves that the game devs really do care about the game and will take the time to listen and absorb what the community has to say to improve upon any remaining issues that linger within the game. So after 6 months of being bullied, told that we needed a rematch button, the game devs of course delivered. Only after 6 months. And that right there really displays the honest compassion the developers have for this game and its community. They even took the time to and went the extra mile to add a rematch button in ranked alongside with player match. So that way you are now able to farm BP in ranks against the same stubborn opponent. Like this dude right here, for example. I beat him once, robbed his BP, and what's this? He wants to rematch. Oh, and look. More BP for me. Oh, what's that? Another rematch? And would you look at that? You hate to see it. More BP for me. Oh, I'm so sorry I had to do you like that. Thank you for filling my piggy bank, and thank you, Jump Force, for implementing such a detrimental feature that we absolutely needed in ranked. Did this dude just rage quit out of a quick match? What would happen if I pressed the rematch button? Oh, so it's just gonna crash my game like that. Well, I suppose that's one way to debug the issue. Now, many normies would argue that the overall gameplay for Jump Force is clunky. However, that's the forbidden spice that provides Jump Force with a unique and elegant flavor that only individuals with a refined taste in anime games could comprehend. It's all a part of the aesthetic, and it may take some time to settle in, but I assure you, with the proper mindset, you too will awaken your third eye and see the greater good in a fighter like this one that comes once in a lifetime, containing all of your favorite shonen characters, especially Breed, a rematch button 6 months after release date, and a nearly flawless combat system that triumphs over any other anime fighter in the industry. Now, with all of that said and done, I really do hope this video helped enlighten many of you to the conspicuous fact that Jump Force is without a doubt a masterpiece. Hopefully I cleared any doubts about Jump Force being good, and if you still do think Jump Force is trash, please take a moment to rewatch this video till you completely understand, because without understanding comes misunderstanding, and with misunderstanding comes cluelessness, and with cluelessness comes And if you do not want to be a so-called baka, I'd advise you to watch this video once more, so you can get the understanding you need to be a well-educated anime gamer. Yo, this game is actually trash.